Welcome back. 4 years have passed since the May flood covered parts of Middle Tennessee. One man who lived through it has put his incredible story in writing. Christian singer-songwriter Bob Farrell was flooded out of his home and rebuilt. 4 years later, he hopes his story can inspire others going through tough times. This is Neil Oren sat down with him.
You don't even know, on flood day, we didn't realize, it's just raining, I may go to the Y, and get some steam and swim. I may not get out. It's that kind of thing going on. It's Saturday morning, you're just having your bean and watching TV, and you're laying on the couch, and it keeps raining, it keeps raining, it keeps raining, and I didn't really think, until about noon, I thought, what in the world? It's sheets of it, and we had been in this house 2 years, Neil. It was over there in that I-24 Thompson Lane, Briley Parkway area, old neighborhood, 2-acre lot, Mill Creek, back there. Mm-hmm. Didn't think when they said you're on the floodplain, at closing. That's when I found out.
Right.
I mean, there was a barrier of trees. There was 100 feet of trees between my back door and back there at that creek. So I didn't ever see it until I saw it, nothing but that, and that day. And so you don't really pay attention to that until it slaps you on flood day. And so we were just, at first just a little bit, really? And then by 1:30 or so, it had started. I opened the door to the garage, and stuff's flooding. All kinds of people came, and Helping Hands of Nashville came and threw in, and organizations that I didn't know anything about, Southeast Flood Relief, the Lighthouse. Remember the Lighthouse Christian School that floated down the interstate?
The Image.
The Image, everybody remembers. Those people are great folks. They threw in and helped, and so we had a lot of people come alongside us. And
you really see the good in human
unbelievable.
nature.
I mean, you really find out about why they call this a volunteer state, because nobody was here crying out for the government to come bail us. Yeah. They just threw in from day one. Everybody has catastrophe, lose a job, lose a mate, lose a loved one, lose something. Storms, tornadoes, floods, hurricanes.
So the flood is the metaphor for the storms in our life.
It is, and the takeaway really is here I'd been a believer in Christ since 1971, and been in the ministry and done a lot of faith building things in behind the Iron Curtain before the wall came down. We did 30 shows in Moscow and Leningrad a year before the wall came down. Things that you just had to have trust in God to do and do right.
Right.
And I thought, I've learned a lot of stuff, right. And then this happens,
right.
A flood event,
right.
and it flattens you to the point where you realize you don't have a lot of faith, Bob.
Right.
You're not faith-filled. You're not Paul the Apostle. You're just a little frail Christian.
Right.
But you either, from those events, you either trust in Him and His ability to do bigger things than you are, that He's in this. He's got purpose in this. You've got to wait on His timetable, and that's what it was for me. I'm not a guy that likes to wait,
Yeah.
And in our culture, we're taught, I've got a handheld device, I can fix this, I want a quick fix, and we usually can get there.
It just reminds me of through faith we are saved by grace, and taking away the deeds. That's what's kind of interesting to me about this whole thing you've put together here.
Yeah, it's because you find He carries you when you need carrying.
Right.
Sometimes, so what I had to learn was His faith in His provision and His timetable, not mine. And realizing the first week after that flood, it was going to be with me for a couple of years, and it wasn't going away quick. But that along the way, He just did unbelievable stuff. Yeah. That nobody else could have done, and I just had to wait to see what He was going to do, that He would take care if I would let Him. So that's kind of what I wanted to say to people, is that whatever your calamity is, you've got to reach down and do those old principles that we don't get taught enough, and which is faith and trust.
And hopefully people will get the same thing reading this book that you apparently got writing this book, right?
I hope so.
You hope so.
And that's the reason that I did it, because I want people to get better and not bitter. It's as encouragement, Neil. Yeah. That's what it was written for. I didn't have any special design behind, you know, becoming a best-selling author or anything. I just felt like it was my job to tell people that there is hope in the midst of that kind of calamity that befalls you, and you just never know when it's going to, you know, and trust God. He'll move.
Well, see, you inspired me, and I didn't go through the flood, so thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I enjoyed being here. Man.
Yeah, same.
Bless you.
Bless you too.
When the Rain Falls is available through Amazon. Our thanks to Bob Farrrell for sharing his story with us. Stay with us. This Week continues in a moment.